If you watched part 1 of this series, you understand what the anti-inflammatory diet actually is. You know which foods to remove and which to add. You understand the hormonal connection and the meal timing layer. And you might be sitting there thinking, okay, I get it. But how do I actually do this in real life? On a Tuesday night when dinner needs to happen in 30 minutes. At a restaurant where nothing on the menu looks safe. Staring at grocery labels that feel like they are written in code. When you travel. When life gets hectic and the protocol falls apart. That gap between knowing and doing is exactly what this video closes. Part 2 covers the anti-inflammatory spice arsenal that turns ordinary food into medicine. How to read food labels and spot hidden inflammatory triggers in seconds. How to eat out without derailing everything, the beverage protocol most people completely miss. The supplements that fill the gaps food alone cannot cover, and the 7-day reset plan that makes the full protocol feel achievable, not overwhelming. This is part 2. Let's get into it. Most people think of spices as flavoring. They are not. The most clinically studied anti-inflammatory compounds available outside of whole food, short of supplementation, are sitting in your spice cabinet. Here are the 5 that have direct clinical evidence. Turmeric with black pepper. The active compound in turmeric is curcumin, one of the most extensively researched natural anti-inflammatory compounds available. Curcumin inhibits NF-κB, the master switch that turns on inflammatory gene expression in immune cells. Multiple randomized controlled trials show measurable reductions in CRP and IL-6 with daily curcumin use. The critical detail most people miss: curcumin alone has poor absorption. Adding black pepper, specifically piperine, increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. That is not a typo. Every time you use turmeric, add black pepper. Every single time. A 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric with a pinch of black pepper in soups, scrambled eggs, smoothies, or sauces. This combination is non-negotiable. Ginger. Compounds in fresh and dried ginger, called gingerols and shoggols, directly inhibit COX-2, the same inflammatory enzyme ibuprofen targets. A meta-analysis of clinical trials found significant reductions in CRP with daily ginger use. For women specifically, ginger also reduces the severity of the inflammatory compounds that drive menstrual and perimenopausal cramping. 1 to 2 grams daily, grated into tea, blended into smoothies, added to stir-fries. Ceylon cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon, not the common cassia variety, improves insulin sensitivity and reduces post-meal blood sugar spikes. Since insulin resistance is a primary driver of inflammatory cytokine production in women over 40, cinnamon is an indirect but powerful anti-inflammatory tool. 1/2 teaspoon daily in your coffee, yogurt, or oatmeal. Important. Confirm the label says Ceylon specifically. Cassia cinnamon contains coumarin at levels that can be harmful in daily doses. Garlic. When fresh garlic is crushed or chopped and allowed to rest for 10 minutes before cooking, allicin forms. Allicin has direct anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial effects. It also supports gut microbiome diversity, which underpins gut barrier integrity. The 10-minute wait before cooking is the key step most people skip. Adding garlic directly to hot oil destroys allicin before it can develop. Crush it, wait 10 minutes, then cook. Rosemary. Carnosic acid and rosmarinic acid in rosemary are potent antioxidants that neutralize the free radicals produced by chronic inflammation. Free radicals damage cell membranes, including the membranes of your immune cells and the cells lining your gut wall. Adding fresh or dried rosemary to roasted vegetables, chicken, eggs, or soups is one of the simplest daily antioxidant habits available. It also mildly improves blood circulation and has documented calming properties relevant for women managing the cortisol-progesterone imbalance of perimenopause. Beyond the allicin point, garlic also contains fructooligosaccharides, a prebiotic fiber that feeds the lactobacillus and bifidobacterium species in the gut directly. So garlic is simultaneously anti-inflammatory through allicin and pro-microbiome through its prebiotic content. These spices are not flavoring, they are medicine delivered in cooking. Use them daily, consistently, and the cumulative anti-inflammatory effect compounds over weeks. Subscribe right now and hit the bell if you have not already. This Thursday series builds week by week, and you will not want to miss what is coming next. Walking into a grocery store with anti-inflammatory intentions and leaving with an actually anti-inflammatory cart are two very different things. The food industry is exceptionally good at making inflammatory products look healthy. Here is the label reading system that takes 30 seconds. Step 1. Look at the ingredient list before anything else. Not the front label, not the nutrition panel, the ingredient list. Step 2. Apply the 5-ingredient principle as a fast filter. The more ingredients a product has, the more likely it contains emulsifiers, preservatives, or hidden sugars. Step 3. Scan for these 5 inflammatory ingredients. Put the product down if any appear in the first 5 ingredients listed. 1. Any oil ending in the word oil that is not olive oil or avocado oil, canola, soybean, sunflower, safflower, corn, vegetable, all seed oils, all inflammatory. 2. High fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, dextrose, or anything ending in -ose. 3. Carrageenan, polysorbate 80, or carboxymethylcellulose, gut-disrupting emulsifiers. 4. Natural flavors. 5. Enriched or bleached flour. Step 4. Check the added sugar line. Anything above 5 grams per serving warrants scrutiny. Protein bars, granola, flavored yogurts. These categories are among the most reliably inflammatory despite their healthy appearance. If you cannot picture what the ingredient looked like before it was processed, reconsider buying it. If you have not watched part 1 of this series yet, that link is in the description. Everything in part 2 builds on the foundation we laid there. Restaurant meals and social eating are where the anti-inflammatory protocol breaks down for most women. Not because the protocol is too strict, but because there is no clear system. Here it is. The safest restaurant categories in order. Mediterranean and Greek restaurants are your best default. Olive oil is the standard cooking fat. Japanese restaurants are your second best option. Sashimi, edamame, miso soup, and seaweed salad are strongly anti-inflammatory. Farm-to-table and seasonal American restaurants typically use better quality oils and fewer processed ingredients than chains. Be careful with chain restaurants. Most cook in seed oils regardless of branding. 5 ordering strategies that work anywhere. 1. Ask what oil the kitchen uses. If not olive or avocado oil, ask for your protein grilled or baked dry and dress it yourself. 2. Always order dressings and sauces on the side. 3. Ask for olive oil and lemon as your dressing. 4. Build your order around protein and vegetables. 5. When uncertain, order the simplest thing on the menu, grilled protein with vegetables. Most important mindset point: one restaurant meal does not undo anything. The inflammatory load resolves within 24 to 48 hours. What drives your baseline is daily home eating. Give yourself room to live when eating out. What you drink is contributing to or countering your inflammatory load in ways most guidance completely misses. Here is the full beverage protocol. Morning, before coffee, 8 ounces of filtered water with the juice of half a lemon. Lemon water alkalizes the digestive environment and supports bile production. If you are taking L-glutamine for gut repair, add it here. Coffee. Black coffee contains chlorogenic acid, a polyphenol with measurable antioxidant activity. The problem is what most women put in coffee. Flavored creamers are primarily seed oils and sugar. Keep coffee black or use a splash of full-fat coconut milk or unsweetened almond milk. Tart cherry juice. This is one of the most underused anti-inflammatory beverages. Tart cherries are high in anthocyanins and natural melatonin. 2 servings daily produce measurable reductions in CRP. 100 milliliters of unsweetened concentrate in water, early evening. Bone broth. Collagen-rich bone broth contains glycine and proline that support intestinal barrier repair. 1 cup daily, morning or evening. Beverages to eliminate: sodas and diet sodas both. Aspartame and sucralose alter gut microbiome composition in ways that increase inflammatory markers. Fruit juices deliver a fructose load with no fiber, producing blood sugar spikes comparable to soda. Sweetened sports drinks, sweetened plant milks eliminate these. Part 1 covered omega-3 fatty acids and cruciferous vegetables. What Part 1 did not cover is the supplementation layer that fills the specific gaps diet alone cannot fully address. Curcumin with piperine. Turmeric as a spice is valuable, but therapeutic doses require supplementation. 500 to 1,000 milligrams of 95% curcuminoid extract with piperine twice daily with a fat-containing meal. Collagen peptides. Collagen is the structural matrix of the gut lining, joints, and skin. As estradiol declines, collagen synthesis slows. By age 50, women have lost 30% of their collagen. 10 to 15 grams of hydrolyzed collagen peptides daily, dissolved in coffee, smoothies, or soups. One of the simplest habits in the entire protocol. Magnesium glycinate. 68% of American women are deficient in magnesium. Magnesium is a required cofactor in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including cortisol regulation and progesterone sensitivity. Glycinate is the most absorbable form with no laxative effect. 300 to 400 milligrams before bed. Probiotics with specific strains. Look for Lactobacillus acidophilus for gut barrier support and immune modulation, and Bifidobacterium longum for estrobolome support. Minimum 10 billion CFU per serving. The critical principle: supplements amplify a good dietary foundation. They do not replace it. Food first. Supplements fill what food cannot fully cover. This order always matters. I want to address the thing that derails more women from the anti-inflammatory protocol than any food, label, or restaurant. The all-or-nothing mindset. The belief that if you did not do it perfectly, you failed. That one bad meal undoes the good ones. That 1 week off means starting over from scratch. This mindset is not just psychologically damaging, it is biologically inaccurate. Inflammation does not accumulate overnight, and it does not resolve overnight. Your inflammatory baseline is determined by the consistent directional signal you send over days and weeks, not by individual meals. A month of 80% consistent anti-inflammatory eating produces measurable reductions in inflammatory markers. No week needs to be perfect to produce real change. The protocol is not a test you pass or fail. It is a conversation you are having with your body every day, imperfectly, over time. The direction matters far more than the perfection. Give yourself full permission to show up at 80% and trust that 80% compounded over months transforms the system. Here is the 7-day reset plan, 1 focused action per day. By the end of day 7, the full framework is in place and running. Do these in order. Day 1, kitchen cleanout. Remove the 4 highest inflammatory inputs: seed oils, sweetened beverages, ultra-processed snacks, and refined cooking fats. Replace oils with extra virgin olive oil and avocado oil. 30 minutes. Immediate impact. Day 2, anti-inflammatory restock. Shop for the 5 daily non-negotiables: fatty fish, cruciferous vegetables, olive oil, berries, and fermented food. Add spice drawer essentials: turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, rosemary, garlic. Add bone broth, tart cherry, and targeted supplements. These form the constant background of every meal for the next 4 weeks. Day 3, breakfast reset. Build your new morning routine. Lemon water first with L-glutamine. Breakfast within 30 minutes of waking. Minimum 30 grams of protein before any carbohydrate. 3 eggs with sautéed greens or Greek yogurt with berries and walnuts. Each takes under 10 minutes. Day 4, lunch and dinner structure. Apply the protein and vegetable first template to every plate. 1 large serving of non-starchy vegetables first, then protein, then starch as an addition, not the centerpiece. This structural shift removes the need for calorie counting or macro tracking. The template is the system. Day 5, beverage overhaul. Replace all inflammatory beverages today. Sodas out, sparkling water with lemon in, fruit juice out, whole fruit in, sweetened creamers out, coconut milk in. Add tart cherry, concentrate, and bone broth. Water target: half your body weight in ounces. Dehydration elevates cortisol and inflammatory signaling. Day 6, supplement protocol. Establish your morning and evening supplement routine. Morning, omega-3, vitamin D3, collagen peptides. Evening, magnesium glycinate and probiotic. Consistency over 4 weeks is what produces the clinical benefit, not daily perfection. Day 7, weekly meal prep. Spend 60 to 90 minutes preparing the components that make the protocol sustainable. Roast a large tray of cruciferous vegetables with olive oil and turmeric. Cook a large batch of protein, salmon or chicken. Portion out fermented food and berries. Make a large salad base. When Monday starts with components already ready, the protocol requires almost no daily decision making. Assembly takes 5 minutes. Decision fatigue disappears when the prep is already done. Sunday's 60 minutes determines the entire week. By the end of week 2 of following this framework consistently, most women notice measurable improvements in at least 2 of these 4 markers: energy on waking, bloating frequency, joint comfort, mental clarity by mid-morning. Track these daily on a 1 to 10 scale and review your weekly average Qi, not individual days. At 8 weeks, the right time to retest blood markers. Look for these 3 numbers to move. High sensitivity CRP below 1 milligram per liter confirms systemic inflammation has reduced. Fasting insulin between 2 and 5 units indicates improving insulin sensitivity. Vitamin D above 50 nanograms per milliliter confirms therapeutic supplementation range. These markers do not lie, and when they move in the right direction, the symptoms have already been telling you the truth for weeks before the lab confirms it. The complete anti-inflammatory implementation framework, the kitchen clean-out, the supplement protocol, the meal structure, the weekly prep system, and the full 8-week layered approach is all inside the healing blueprint with shopping guides, meal templates, and week-by-week guidance that removes every implementation guessing point. 8 weeks, 1 layer at a time. The link is in the description. If you missed part 1 of this series, that link is in the description. It covers the foundational signaling framework, the food list with mechanisms, and the hormonal phase alignment that everything in part 2 builds on. The 2 videos together give you the complete picture. Before you go, I would love to hear from you. Share your experience in the comments. I read every single one of them. Your story may give hope to someone who is exactly where you were before you found this information. If this video helped, please subscribe. Every new subscriber helps us reach more women with the information that actually changes how they feel every single day.